Hi, I'm Phil Morrison and welcome to a very long overdue update video on my V10 M3. So, it's been so long. In fact, actually, I just had to check because it's been that long. The last video was the 1st of February.
This year?
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, I did have to check because I was wondering whether I'd lost a year. But no, it's not more than a year. It's February was the last video. And I'm sure at the end of that last video I said, oh, coming soon, this will be happening, and we'll get onto the V10 headers, the manifold. So yeah, owe you a bit of an explanation. I have mentioned this multiple times in comments, and I think I mentioned it at the very beginning of the build. When I was wondering whether to buy my V10, my beloved V10 M3 back some years ago, probably what, 2-3 years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
When I was deciding whether to do that, it was in such a bad state and kind of not really worth what I was paying for it in terms of the sum of its parts, because it had been left rotting basically. As a lot of you know the story. If you don't, then watch it from the beginning. The collection video and all sorts. There's a massive playlist of probably like 40 plus videos on this car. So yeah, save yourself a couple of days and watch the lot. But yeah, anyway, when I bought it back, I wasn't sure whether I should, basically. I really wasn't sure whether I should. So the way that I man-logicked my way through it and decided that it was going to be a good idea for me to buy it back, go to Germany with Jay, buy it back with loads of baggage along with it, another car I'd sell on, and all sorts of hassle, was that I'd just pretty much bring it back to Driftworks to save it and stop it rusting, save it getting worse. I'd get onto it when I could, and the number one rule would be that it would never get in the way of any of my existing projects, the stuff that was ongoing at the time, which was the Murcielago build, the 964, and all the other stuff that I've always got. Yeah, that one as well, the E30, which is always a big struggle as well. So yeah, that was the number one rule, and I know you guys have been craving an episode, craving updates for it, shouting at me on every single video on the Murcielago or whatever, where's the V10 M3? Well, here it is, but like I say, it's just a case of when I've got time, we'll do stuff to it, and when one of the other cars needs something doing, the V10 gets pushed back, it will eventually be done, and it will be eventually done right, because I don't want to rush it. For the sake of making you guys happy for YouTube, I want it right, and it will be done next year now. Really?
I mean, if we get on to it, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, anyway, yeah. So, sort of earlier on this year, when the Murcielago stuff really started to get busy, I decided to park this up out of the way and just leave it for a bit. I think I've told you a bit of the story about where we got to with the manifold design, the 10-into-1 before, and it came to an abrupt halt because essentially the scan data wasn't accurate enough, and there were some mistakes made in manufacture. We actually got to the point where metal was ordered, bent to specific requirements, and then cut, and it was actually cut wrong. So I've got a pile of scrap metal, didn't work out. It's not the end of the world. It's one of those things, super complex, and you know, nothing's held against anybody that was involved in it before. I've just now moved on to working with Celeritech. Celeritech are a Dutch company who make stuff remotely, believe it or not. The requirement for them to be able to do that is really accurate scan data, really accurate stuff. Now, we've found ourselves with a moment or two, maybe, between other projects. So they've now sent their scanning equipment, and we're going to take on our first attempt at photogrammetry. Yeah, that's the other thing that happened during the time. We built these, me and Jay built them. There is a video on that, you know, if you fancy watching two old men struggle.
Still full.
Oh yeah, we still managed to film. I'm not sure whether we even had the GIRS from when we got that, but yeah, we still managed to fill it up, and you know, there's lots of updates. I'm sure a few of you have watched things like me crashing the E30.
Everybody in the world's seen you crashing that.
Apparently I can't drive, and it was very easy to avoid, you know, all the normal internet stuff. Thanks, internet. But yeah, I guess we should get this down off our very posh new storage ramps, get a CSL out the way, and yeah, move it into a position where we can get it on axle stands and start having a go at this photogrammetry thing. There it is in all its glory.
Oh.
We're trying to refamiliarise ourselves a little bit, aren't we?
Where did we get to?
Yeah, because Jay's just reminded me that although it was February where we did the radiators on this round at Craig's, I think it was a hell of a long time before that we did anything.
Before the Lambo came back from Gaz's and...
So that was Christmas when the Lambo came back, wasn't
it? Like last year since we last touched.
So yeah, it is genuinely ages. And what we have to do for this is be sure that we've got as much as we can in the engine bay so that the scan gives him the data to be able to build around everything. So you can see it's got no wiring loom on here at the moment, and we need to get that in place, and a few other bits and bobs. Some of it will have to be just factored into the design of the water pipes and everything, because we've got to sort those. We've got Vanos line to complete, but we've got the bits for that now. This will be probably filmed over the course of
a few days.
I'd say 2-3 days at least.
Yeah.
It'll be two days, then send him the data, then he'll say, no, that's all wrong, you pair of dickheads.
Yeah,
do it again. So that's the wiring loom on, and look at this for a nice fancy box. This is how Celeritech deliver everything in this very fancy, very, very heavy duty flight case.
Everything we need is in there.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to excuse us. You know how we made the really nice insulated posh side of the workshop? Well, we've chosen to do this in the tin shed side of Driftworks, so the noise. And
it hasn't really rained for months.
It hasn't, I know. The day we're filming in here, it's raining, so excuse the noise. Let's have a look what's inside here then. We've been busy building a little hut and taping the crap out of the engine bay. It wasn't too bad, to be fair.
No, it wasn't.
40 minutes?
4 minutes, yeah.
40 minutes.
It up on the camera
yeah.
Now we have to cover everything that's shiny up, don't we? Otherwise the reflection will ruin the...
Yeah. So reflections are the enemy of any photogrammetry and also laser scanning. And after much experimenting, I think by Celeritech, they actually said that this is the best and overall the quickest way to do this. You can use what was it called? Mattifying spray.
Yeah.
But they evaporate and can sometimes give inconsistent results as they evaporate, even the 24-hour one, and there's a question whether it can actually affect paint as well, because they do have a solvent in them. So yeah, they just said that the absolute best way of doing this, to be sure, is to tape stuff, and you don't have to be over the top accurate, but we just got rid of any shiny surface that we can see, and it's, you know, taking extra care in the areas which are going to be a big problem potentially, which is areas like this on the rock covers and down the chassis rails, which, as you can see, is super tight there. So yeah, we've got as much blue taping as we can get really in those areas, and we're going to give it a go now. We're going to have a first go at doing a sequence of photographs along chassis rail, up there, back there, over the top of the engine, over to the other side, and hopefully try and get a sequence scanning the kind of entire top of the engine. And then once we finish, hopefully down there, we'll move to the bottom and start working along the same sort of path.
A quick test first time, which we're going to send to him. He's going to have a look at to decide if we're doing it right.
Yeah, because if you want to do it in sequence, apparently it's really important to do it in sequence, because otherwise the computing time is massive for the photogrammetry software to work out where this picture's from. So do it all in sequence as best as possible. We've got to set up we've got like a really nice arm that sits on tripod here. Everything's going to be nice and secure, and we actually shoot remotely using an iPhone as a shutter. So
it's not an iPhone.
Oh yeah, of course it's
Android,
isn't it?
Work it.
Yeah. It took us ages to work out the settings.
How'd you even turn that on?
It's terrible, isn't it? and trying to connect it to Wi-Fi. Android.
We've never had one.
Yeah, in the bin, Android. Go home. What you'll see here is a glue gun, a hot glue gun, and a camera covered. Because one of the most important things to make sure of is that none of the camera settings change. So we've got some really precise settings that are given to us by Celeritech. And then, basically cover the whole camera in hot glue. Well, not the whole camera, because that bit's quite important.
Yeah. We need to lock the zoom.
Yeah.
Lock the buttons and operate it remotely.
Yeah. And then the other side, all of this equipment comes in the kit here. So this is all sort of custom made stuff specifically for this task, photogrammetry. So the camera goes on the end here. As you can see here, there's a special rig that they've made that allows you to turn the camera upside down if that's the best way to get the shots that you need as well. So yeah, very comprehensive, very good tutorials on this, and just down to us to completely mess it up now. So I think you saw us taping the car up quite heavily in the last shot. So we did that. We took about 100 pictures.
20 photos, did you say?
Yeah, something like that. And what you can hear in the background here is our report. Yeah,
we failed our test.
Yeah. So the guys at Celeritech, absolutely awesome. Sent over the pictures just by a Google Drive link, this test set that we did. And yeah, he's given us a full report on what we need to improve to make the pictures better. So the long and short of it is we did an all right job. We didn't take anywhere near enough photos, and we need more distance and
a lot more overlap.
The overlap of the pictures is super important. I won't go into massive detail here, but this is an example that he's done, and all of these are where he's basically taken a picture of this engine. So you can see it's being moved around here. So yeah, more overlap, more pictures. Probably it's going to take us a lick a day, I think, to do the photographs, and that's probably the first batch of photographs. Then once it goes into the photogrammetry software with Celeritech, there will no doubt be some errors. Part of the issue is, just demonstrate, is obviously proximity down here. This is super, super tight. And some of it we can see through like the headlight holes and things like that. But yeah, what it looks like we need to be doing is sort of very, very incrementally moving, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, making sure that, you know, we get full coverage, and the sequence is also very important. So we might be actually going over the wheel arches, under the car, like this, and then up into it to actually get the ports and everything joined up. But yeah, if you don't do it incrementally, like say if you did a picture here and then the next picture you took was from the underside of the engine, apparently it takes days to compute some of that stuff, because the program goes and hunts through every single picture to find similarities, to find out where that next picture goes. Super complicated, and it's just a case of, I think, being very, very thorough with this, and yeah, probably getting another naughty card report afterwards and seeing what we need to fill in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to throw up a GoPro and spend the next 17 hours taking pictures. That's about enough of that for one day.
It's getting cold in this tent.
I'm absolutely freezing. We're so weak, but yeah, we're not really moving about loads. We're just lying on a cold concrete floor. So yeah, we're hoping. I think that's roughly about 600 photos total. We're hoping that's enough. I'm gonna upload them now to the Google Drive, send them over to Celeritech. And basically wait for the report, wait for the slap on the wrist or whatever we've done wrong
today,
yeah, or the camera setting's wrong, and then we have to redo the whole thing. But yeah, I think rolling around doing this for 6 hours, I'm hopeful at the very least.
It's taken a while, hasn't it?
Morning. Good news. We've been sent our report. We've been sent our grade.
We passed.
Yeah.
Passed.
So. Let's watch this.
Good morning, gentlemen. Driftworks. The result of one night computing, and the result is absolutely great. Look at it. It's, yeah, you're looking at the high resolution, but I have to go to the lower resolution to navigate. But the result is absolutely, yeah, I would say even perfect. Oh, you see. It's always horrible to navigate in this program. Everything is there, everything we need, you know, the data. This is not a filtered version. Mostly you do that to, yeah, then you make it even more precise, but that's mostly for the scale bars and for the flanges. The rest, you know, if that is within like 1/10 or even 2/10 of a millimeter being precise, that doesn't matter. You stay away from it anyway. But you see here the result, and again, we are looking at the low resolution version, but look at it. If I switch to high, how nice that looks. That takes like 10 seconds. Up, there it is. Everything really high detailed, not that we need it, but how nice is this? I switch back to the lower resolution to show the underside, and this is also very nice. We absolutely have everything, and also here the body. We have everything we need, what we need to know, and this is also the lower resolution version. If we switch to high, up there it is. It's all really nice and perfect, especially the parts that needs to be. This is, I would almost say, this is a better job than I've could done myself. And I know it's really a lot of work, but yeah, I absolutely love the result, how it looks.
We'll take that.
Smoke face.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Oh man, I am so happy. I am so happy with that. As you probably heard from that, the results of our work yesterday are adequate. Adequate to say the least. Yeah. I was super obsessive, and Jay was quite understanding and tolerant of my...
I've known you long enough.
Yeah. But once again, it's worth spending the time. It was worth the slight torture doing it, because the results there speak for themselves. That actually looks fantastic even as it is there. I could have a drawing of that, maybe recolouring the
We're going to have to do that wing if you want a drawing of it, because you're not going to live with that.
So yeah, I'm sure a load of you are hoping that you're going to see some fantastic design and maybe some metalwork in this episode, but it's probably going to be the next, well, it's definitely going to be the next one now. But yeah, it's an update for V10, you can't complain, it's been ages.
Someone will.
They will, so I always complain. But yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing as well, and thanks for being patient with my projects and time and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Check it out.